Hi, and welcome to Dr. White's English classes. In my last video, I was talking about Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and the four letters that begin the novel. In the four letters, we get a chance to meet Robert Walton, and it's really about his loneliness and companionship. And near the ending of letter 4, we are introduced to Victor Frankenstein. Now, in chapter 1, we have a new narrator, and that narrator is Victor Frankenstein himself. He begins to let the reader know some things about him. This book was published in 1818, and once again, it was written by Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley was on vacation in Switzerland with friends and a companion, and there was a challenge made. And these other friends were also well-known writers. And so they were challenged to write like a ghost story. And so they all agree, but the only person to actually finish writing the ghost story was Mary Shelley. And we get the story called Frankenstein, or it's also known as Modern Prometheus. So with this story, Mary Shelley begins to reveal to the reader some of the things that were happening during that time when her novel was written. And science was like emerging, and new and modern things were happening with science during that time. And so she has these things in her mind as well. Also, her mother is a feminist, but yet and still some of the characters don't have that kind of strength, but we see them being taken care of by men. And so that was kind of odd, but I think she realized that the audience in whom she was speaking to, perhaps, those women may have come from that kind of a background. Also, in her story, we see Mary Shelley using nature an awful lot, because when she wrote her story during the time she was having a nightmare, and it was thundering and lightning. So when you're reading a Gothic novel, it has these things of shadows, not mystery, but shadows, darkness, ghost, like an atmosphere. And we get all of this in Frankenstein as well. So as I said, Mary Shelley was on vacation. She ended up finishing her story, and they thought that she should go ahead and publish it, so she did. Mary Shelley, as I said, had a nightmare one night, and we begin to see her story emerge from this nightmare. And because she's developing this story, she decided to start with the four letters and then move into chapter 1. The four letters help to frame the story for the reader. And so once we meet Victor Frankenstein in chapter 1, we know who he is. And she makes it very clear that he is narrating the story at this particular point. Okay, I think that's enough information for right now. If you are reading Frankenstein, the Modern Prometheus, continue to read along with us as well. And I hope that you like the story, because it's a great story. People see it as one way, but it's many things, even though it has its sad moments as well. Looking for the characters, looking for love, companionship. Victor Frankenstein will begin to push away from his creature, but we'll begin to understand the reasons why. So we are reading Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. But that's it for now, and as always, keep reading. Until next time, thank you, my wonderful English students in my English classes. Bye for now.